welcome to my channel, Haylee Marie Vintage. Today I clearly have a fabric and patterns and lace haul for y'all. This is, I think, from April till now. So this is a good several months, and I just kind of wanted to show you what I picked up, what some of my project plans are, stuff like that. And this haul is actually very like Tools and Notion light. So first I'll go through the lace, then I'll go through the patterns, and then last I'll go through the fabric. Let's get started. First for lace, I have this really beautiful, I'll of course as always put a little close-up over here. This lace reminds me of wisteria, but it's probably more of like a hyacinth or something. But it's this very, very beautiful Swiss trim. I picked it up at Allen's Bridal in Denver. I think it's really beautiful. This was really, really pricey. I think it was around like $35 a yard. Lace like this is expensive, which I figured it would be. And I had seen this last time I was there, and I thought about it over a year. So I decided I could get it because I really, really regretted not getting it last time. Normally, I don't buy lace this expensive. After thinking about it for as long as I had, I decided it was okay for me to buy it. I think what I want to do is like maybe a periwinkle or a lilac dress with this trim around like the skirt, because I do have 4 yards of it and maybe a little bit up around like the neckline. We'll see what happens, but I know it'll be purple because that's one of my favorites. As far as other laces go, everything else I got is antique. I got this from Sewn in Denver. This is a beautiful like length of lace that has, I don't know, just like a floral kind of berry motif. All of these are really yellow, and so actually right after I finish this video, I'm gonna pop them into a retro clean. Actually, I'm out of retro clean. Once I get retro clean, I'm gonna actually put all of these through a retro clean bath. All of them are pretty yellowed, and I'm sure some of these are originally cream, but none of them were probably this cream, so I need to launder them, but they're all incredibly pretty. I also have like some nice inset. It's actually really interesting because a lot of this trim that's really old, I have found modern day replacements that are pretty comparable in like quality. It is just hard to find. This is really pretty. This actually is probably not so easy to find modernly. And then we have like some cute little trims like this. This one I absolutely love. It's like this kind of sheer with a bunch of little wavy guys on it. This is like a little kind of more doll-like trim. So yeah, I have seen trims of this quality, but these were pretty good prices. There were 3 bags of these, and they were each between $12 and $18, depending on what was in them. I adore this one. This is like this cool little wavy one. Whoops, my camera died there. Now we're a little bit more zoomed in, I guess. But we'll continue along with my lace. This one is a terrible color. I'm sure this is not the original color, so I'm excited to retro clean it. And then this I have a whole ton of. It's just, again, all of this is really nice lace, and then this is some really nice inset lace. And I felt like everything was a pretty good price. The last bit of lace is this. I think at some point this was some sort of shawl. It has snapstone on it, so I'm not, or a hood maybe? I'm not quite sure exactly what this was before, but I think I can definitely use it. I have a couple dresses that need like a sheer netting kind of like up here, and I think something like this would be absolutely gorgeous. So that's it on lace. Now to get into patterns. Hold up, I have to kind of crawl under my table. All of my early patterns fell. So order, I'm gonna go through this stack of patterns here, which this is a stack that Stephanie grabbed me when she was at Fun Junk Licorice. She bought all that person's patterns when we all met up. So these are all, I think, like $4 a pattern. I have this beautiful top that I'm really excited about and that I plan on making soon that has like this really fun gathered yoke, long sleeves or short sleeves, but I'll make the long sleeves. I just think this is really pretty. This one I'm now debating. I read the yardage for this, and I will say this skirt might be poofier than I like. It is also actually like a circle skirt, so what's gathered at the top is less thick than you would maybe think. So I'll probably give it a run. I loved the cutout on this guy here. It is really cute. It has like this keyhole detail I'm excited about, and I also really like the belt and the way it falls into the skirt. This one here, I have a few sheer fabrics that I think would be really pretty, and that's kind of what this is designed for. This one has this fun wrap shirt top tie thing that I'm gonna try. I'm not gonna lie, I have owned these before and they haven't always been my favorite, but I think this one maybe looks better than some of the others I owned. This beautiful gown. I have no business making any more gowns anytime soon, but I do also think I could probably make a pretty cute house dress. And then I have a romper. We love a romper. And then I have this weird one that looks like it's maybe duct taped. I wonder, oh, I bet that goes with this one. This one is like a sleeve with a really boat neck and poofy sleeves. And then I have this one, which is like this very funky buttoned suit set. I am normally not one for a suit set, but I would really like to make a suit next year, I think. I thought this one was really, really pretty. Now I'm gonna go through my, I think, 60s, 70s, and 80s pile. I thought this little jumper set was really cute. I think it's 70s. I can't really tell you why I like it, but I do like it, so I picked it up. I also have this peasant dressy thing. You can make a dress or, oh, I guess it's a blouse and skirt, but you could technically probably combine them. I picked this up because I'm looking for stuff to make that like I can then put my corset over that'll cinch really nicely, and I think this is one of those things. I picked up this. I'm really excited. This is a pair of culottes with a bunch of fancy pleating in the front. I actually picked up a pair of culottes like this. This guy I picked up to make, again, a dress that then I can put a corset over. This skirt, from what I recall, was really cheap, but I also bought it because it's a nice skirt with a flounce on the bottom. When I make flounces for skirts, I'm usually kind of guessing at length, and it would be kind of nice to know how it would turn out. I bought this from my friend Sunray over on Instagram. I'll link her below. I bought this on her Poshmark. It's a 1980s gunny sacks dress pattern. I like this gunny sacks dress pattern a lot. I was actually going to use it to make my holographic lavender ball gown, but I ended up going with something a little bit more 50s and less gathered because I didn't think that fabric would gather well. But I do have this pattern on deck to make something else with. And then I also have been kind of looking at some petticoat and slip patterns, and I thought this one was nice, as well as there's this one. Petticoat materials are actually pretty cheap, and I can make a much nicer petticoat for myself because I have sensory issues than I can buy. This one here is a slip. I have grown in size, so I need an updated slip pattern that's actually gonna fit. And this last one is like this really fun like cape jacket hybrid. I have fabric already for this. I already have a plan to make this one. So you'll likely see this around January, February. And the last two that I'm going to go through from this stack are some reproduction patterns. So they are more like 1940s. This here, I really liked the shorts and the top. I mean, the skirt's nice too, but the shorts was what really had me buying this pattern because they're so flared. And I'm looking for some really flared shorts to make some overall shorts with. And then this guy here is a 1930s pattern. I actually have a 70s pattern very close to this one, but in this case, this is a 1930s pattern and it has ginormous puffed sleeves. And I actually have a fabric in mind in this pile that I'm gonna make this with. And now we'll get into this pile. This is all 50s and 40s. One thing that I've been looking for is skirt. I'll show you what this looks like close up, but the reason I picked up this skirt is I like the box pleat in the front, but more importantly, I had to destash a skirt with pockets like this that I was pretty upset about. So when I found this pattern, I was like, yes, this is what I want. Here is just a full skirt with the correct waist measurement for me, as well as a pair of shorts that I think is super cute, although we'll probably need some adjustment for the bum for me. And then I have another skirt pattern in for my waist. This is for a like pleated skirt or a gathered skirt. So I think this is gonna be cute. And then I got this sheared top. I think it's gonna be not fun to make, but really pretty once it's done. And then this one is so interesting. I saw this one and I couldn't figure out what was going on, but it's actually a bunch of loops and buttons. So you can shorten and lengthen the skirt at will, and I thought that was wild. And yes, I could just mathematically do this myself, but I'm lazy. So instead I picked up this pattern. I'm sure you will see this pattern made in probably summer of next year. This feels like a good summer outfit, and I already can think of a fabric I'd use for it. And then this guy is a 1940s pattern with a tulip sleeve and with these like fun inset pockets in the front. I'm trying to remember where I picked this up. I think I picked this up actually at Sewn in Denver, which means it was a $12 pattern, which I thought this was a nice one for $12 because it has this, well, it has this capelet that I adore, but it also has this really beautiful diagonal line across it that I think will be really, really cute. And I think makes it a rare pattern that's worth probably more than the $12 I paid for it. I also grabbed this guy here. This is a little capelet 1940s jumper look. I already have plans to make this one. And then this is another, this is like a house lounge dress, but I think I will make it out of like daytime fabric, and I just thought this was super beautiful. I believe I picked this up from Backroom Finds. I'm gonna link her website down below. If I didn't pick up this one from her, I know I have stuff in my pile that I bought from her because Stephanie finds the best patterns out there. And I'm again almost 90% sure I got this one. This like weird cutout detail and neckline I absolutely adore. And I also love the idea of like a silk top with like a brown wool bottom in a dress, because then it looks like a skirt and a top, but you don't have to think about it. I also got this guy here. I liked the way the gathers were on the bust line here. And then I also really liked these sleeves. This is out of control. I actually have already used this skirt pattern on something that I showed in my other video. This is the skirt pattern I used for, I'm pretty sure I used this for the brown stripy skirt I made recently. And then I also have the top. I have plans of exactly which fabric I'm going to make this up next year for the summer in. And then this guy here, I really love this collar line. I think it's really pretty. And if you're tricky with this collar line, you can actually almost make it look like a cutout and like an invisible collar. So I'm thinking of doing something like that. And then I also loved the sleeves and neckline of this one. I want to say this was maybe also a $12 pattern, but it has these nice gathers that are like around the bust that I thought was really nice. And then I also like how the skirt is cut. And then to add to my patterns book inspiration stash, I got these two Butterick fashion catalogs that these are just something nice for me to look through. I have to figure out exactly how I'm storing these. I'm definitely not gonna store them long-term folded like this. This is just how they were sent to me, and I'm sure that's how the vendor found them. And this I think is all from the same pattern vendor. I looked out, so I searched certain like rarer pattern names like Hollywood or New York patterns regularly on Etsy, because often people list those without knowing the value of them, and then they have a ton of patterns for a really good price. So I believe everything in this stack that I'm about to show you I paid $10 per pattern for, which is pretty wild when you look at the intricacy of some of these. This first one here is this really cool suit. It's very square in the shoulder and has all this really cool line detail, or maybe it's a dress. I don't know exactly what it is, but it is really, really cool. And then similarly, whoever owned this like set of patterns just had a really good taste for line, because this is another dress with like a ton of unique lines. I think it even includes a little pocket on the side. This is just a really cool dress. And normally I won't choose this shape for myself, but I loved all the details enough that I'm gonna figure out how to make this one work for me. This one is just like a simple, very sweet little peplum outfit. And the way you can make it, I think you can probably make a detachable peplum with a little bow tie, and that would work ideally for me because I'm not always a peplum gal. This next one, I was so excited. I'm pretty sure I picked this up. They're somewhere between 5 and 10 now I'm thinking about it. And this one I have seen, and it's usually a little bit more expensive. It's perfectly in my size, and I love the color contrast, and I like the way the buttons are grouped, and I just think this is a really cool piece, and I can't wait to make it. We have another fun lines piece. This has like this fun little buttony tab, and I'm pretty sure the skirt almost like wraps around you because of where this button is. I just think these are really interesting pieces. And then now we're back to random Etsy stores patterns. I have this one here, which is just a really nice, beautiful 1940s coat. Coats are on my mind right now. I have quite a bit of fabric to make coats right now. I had been looking for coat patterns that were in my budget, and this one fit the bill. And then last, ending very not coatish, is a little two-piece set Hollywood pattern that I thought this was darling. And again, I have fabric in mind that I'm gonna make this in for next summer. Oh, Jesus. We have made it through the patterns, so next I'm going to show you fabric. I have my fabric each grouped by where I got it. I will link anything down below that I can shop-wise. First, what I'm going to start with is free or cheap. So you can't see all of this, but I have a bunch of like large-scale pink netting. I got 8 yards of this for $8 at a thrift store, and with stuff like tulle or netting, if I can buy it secondhand, I'm going to, because this is all always made of plastic, which is not great for the environment, puts money in petroleum, like big oil pockets. So if I can buy this secondhand, I always will, just because it's a better way to buy it for the environment. There are times where I don't luck into it, but I like this color. I know I'm gonna probably need netting at some point, so I picked this up, and there's a whole lot of it. Woo! So that was not free, but it was very cheap, which netting I guess is always technically very cheap, but you know, otherwise free fabrics that I picked up. I have this beautiful teal rayon. I have 2 yards of it. I'm gonna make a blouse with it, and I got this for free at a local fabric swap. Next up, I'm really excited about got this. This is some rusty colored corduroy. I got this for free from my pottery mentor. I'm gonna link the pottery video I did with her recently, and by recently I mean over a year ago. She is destashing some stuff, so I got this from her, and then I also got this stack of, I think there's 4 towels in here, and they're all kind of like horseshoe and clover themed, so they're like luck themed, which I think is really fun, and they come in, I think there's 4 of them in the stack, and they're each like a slightly different colorway, so I think I'll probably make this into like a button-up shirt, and it'll be really, really cool. And then on the linens train, this is another linen I bought. I actually bought this linen set, I think it was $12. There's actually 4 napkins that came with this. I just don't know where they are right this second, but I really love this lavender color, and I liked the little detail of these yellow roses, so I thought this would be nice to make like a little blouse out of, or a skirt, I don't know yet, because I'm really trying to use a lot more secondhand stuff. I say as all of this fabric is not secondhand, but all of the other fabric is. I'm really working on my consumerism. I mean, it feels like this isn't terrible for this being the last 6 months or so of fabric I bought. However, this is more than I could ever sew. I have more fabric in this apartment that I could ever sew. So I'm hoping next year, I think this year I got it down to just 3 of these hauls, and next year I'm hoping to get it down even further. Getting into the fabric that I brought brand new, this first fabric, hopefully you can see it. It's a fun holographic like swimsuity fabric. I bought this to make a swimsuit from, and I bought it from a local fabric shop. I think I bought it from Stitches here in Seattle, and I will link them down below. They have really good quality fabric, and I do recommend them. Next up, I'm not so happy with this purchase, and I'm probably honestly going to turn around and sell it. I bought this off Fabric Mart, which it's hard to understand some of their written descriptions of stuff, and I got this because it like had almost like this little corduroy feel to it, but it was cotton, but I do not like how this feels. I can absolutely tell you for sure I will not make what I make out of this, and so right now one of the other things I'm trying to do is, if I get something that I end up not liking, is instead of like feeling guilty and keeping it, is just selling it really cheaply secondhand somewhere, so that way it's not like clunking up my stash. I have a lot of fabric in my stash that like I feel like I guilt have because I bought it online and then it wasn't what I wanted. So my goal is to not so awkwardly like say hello to this fabric and goodbye to this fabric, because I'm not going to sew with it. And sometimes that just happens when you buy fabric online. I will say I only take risks on fabric like that if it's pretty cheap. Fabric Mart had their whole sale on had their whole site on sale for 60% off when I ordered all these, so I was willing to take more risks and things were cheaper. I do recommend with Fabric Mart, if you can waiting for the thing to be 60% off. They rotate it around their whole site all the time. However, certain things like silk or wool will sometimes sell out without that because they're already such decent prices. Next up, I have a couple lawns from them, or I guess lawn and voile. Again, I don't know how to say it. This is some cotton voile, and I have this just to line bodice with. It's a nice lightweight lining that helps cover all my sins and also make things a little less sheer. This one, I will try to capture it in photographs for you, but it is this, this is a lawn that's printed with little tiny white daisies. I bought this to like make maybe some sleeves on gunny sacks with. I just think it would be a cute accent. This guy here, I just thought these were really cute. This is, I think, a cotton sateen, and it has little martinis in it, which is funny because I would never drink a martini. They are not for me. And I also don't drink that much anyway, but I thought it was super cute fabric, so I did pick it up. Speaking of like higher end things you can get from them, this is a silk I bought from them. I'm trying to find, hopefully you can see that because this isn't gonna work great as a photograph because it's so sheer. I bought this to make that really gathered blouse with the Lady Marlowe pattern that I bought. I thought this was really, really beautiful and would look great as a blouse like that. And then I could wear like a black slip under it since it will be sheer. Then last, from Fabric Mart, this is 100% wool. It's super soft, super high quality. This is what I mean by you just can't always tell what you're gonna get with them, because they do only sell dead stock fabrics, which another one of my goals is to buy more dead stock and less new. So this is just a really nice brown wool. I recently had to declutter a brown skirt that I adore and I was devastated. So I was looking for some black wool to sew up a new one, and I found it, and I'm pretty happy because skirts take like 3 seconds to make. Next, we're going into a little Silk Baron haul. I put in an order for Silk Baron during Pride Month. They released some really awesome Pride fabric, but one of the boring things I bought is this is just some silk. Oh my gosh, I think organza, but don't quote me on it. But I got this mainly to stiffen up shirts. So that sheer fabric that I just showed you, you use organza and sheer fabrics instead of interfacing because they like more match the vibe of a silk, but will give you that stiffening of interfacing. So I picked this up. I picked up way more than I need just for that shirt because I plan on just keeping this in my stash and using it in instances where I have sheerness that I guess are black. Next up, I'm really excited. I bought some taffetas from them during Pride. This was their genderqueer fabric. It's this like beautiful like lilac and green stripe. I am planning on making a skirt with this and it's gonna be absolutely gorgeous. And then I'm gonna need to figure out how to unfold this enough for you to see it, but not so much that I can't. I also bought their bisexual striped taffeta. I love these colors. You will probably see me make a dress with this for Pride next year. Even though I don't date cis men, I am technically bi. So I'm gonna wear my colors with Pride next year. That was my Silk Baron order. Wow, they are expensive, but I will say for me their taffetas are worth it. I did order a ton of swatches of some taffetas, DPONs, silk satins and things like that, just so you get a feel for their fabric. I have discovered I do not like DPONi. It's not for me. I think it looks beautiful on other people. I think it's great that other people sew with it. The texture of it makes me want to die. So I will not ever be wearing that, which is good to know by ordering a little swatch pack as opposed to me ordering like yards of it to discover that I'm like, ugh. But I'm so sad because they have so many beautiful colors, but I hate how it feels so much. So that's where I'm at. Next up, we have, these are all from like some little fabric stores. This first one is again from Sewn in Denver, which is where I got all that lace. This is some nice 1940s rayon. I think this pattern's really cute and it would make a beautiful blouse. And then I also got, this is some 1960s rayon and their little bow prints. And I can't wait to make a blouse with this as well. I think this is gonna make the cutest little blouse. I'm planning on probably making a blouse that has a little bow tie, because then I can have bow ties. So that is the plan. Blouses I often don't make on camera, although I'm thinking of kind of switching that up this year. I mean, next year. We're almost at the end of this year and I already have all my projects planned. But this year I bought, I think it'll make like a cute little vesty guy, like an overcoat or an undercoat, waistcoat. I think waistcoat is the one I'm looking for. This was like in their like yard sale of, oh, this next stack is all French Seam, which is the place I went to in Indianapolis when I visited there with Drew. I will link all those videos and I will also link them down below. Their shop was wonderful and I can tell you whatever you order from them is going to be high quality. But yes, I bought this beautiful quilting cotton for a little vest. And then I also bought this really beautiful, it's like it's a really interesting woven that I think is really cool. You probably can't get the subtleties without me putting a photo up here, but it's absolutely stunning. And this, I'm gonna also make probably a little waistcoat with. I'm kind of in a waistcoat mood. I figured out how to wear them and layer them and now I'm becoming a big fan. This next one, this is a beautiful speckled cotton. It'll be a nice skirt. This one I actually have plans to make on camera for y'all. You'll see me walk you through the rest of the fabrics that I'm using, but I'm gonna make a 3-piece set of a bunch of things to kind of wear together. And then this one I love so much. When I pop it up here, I'm gonna try to make sure to find one of the little elves hidden in this fabric print, but it's this beautiful like florals. It has all these different flowers in it and it's really, really cool. And occasionally throughout the flowers, there's an elf and I just adore this. I cannot wait to make a blouse with this and wear that blouse and just feel really, really cool. I'm excited for that. And one thing to note about the French Seam is they specialize in Japanese fabrics. They have one of the best arrays of Japanese fabrics I've ever seen stateside. So highly recommend if you like Japanese printed fabric. This is a beautiful blue poppy fabric. I love blue poppy fabrics. I guess you could say I love fabrics of things that are supposed to be red, like poppies and strawberries, but are instead printed blue because I do not like red. So I picked up this fabric and it's absolutely stunning. It's a beautiful weight. It's gonna make a beautiful dress. All right, last up, this is my trip to Allen's Bridal in Denver. If you're ever in Denver, you have to go. It is one of the most unique fabric stores I've ever been to because they have a lot of old stock stuff that they've had for years and you just can't get anymore. So first I'm gonna start off with, I got some like boring things like linings there. They're one of the only places that I can go to in person that have a huge array of lining options. So I picked up this. This is actually to line that blue that I just showed you for that skirt. This here is just some black lining because I just feel like you can't ever have too much black lining in your stash. And then this here is a beautiful taupe lining because this is another color that I feel like you can't go wrong having in your stash. I actually think I bought all the rest of the rolls of both the taupe and the black there, so it won't be there if you go. Sorry, it's me. I'm the problem. But next is all their really cool fabrics. So this time while going to Allen's, I had a mission on my mind. I wanted some blouse fabrics, and then I also wanted to look at their silks and brocades. So that is what I did. And first, I of course got another round of that holographic fabric. I made this very beautiful ball gown with this brocade, and I love that ball gown, but I want a top or like something that I can wear to work with it, even though, yes, I know this is like kind of very dancey fabric for work, but I'm gonna wear it to work. This is the second piece of that 3-piece outfit that I'm gonna make, and this is gonna be a beautiful blouse with like giant sleeves, and it's gonna be hot pink and holographic. Woo! I'm so excited about that one. And then the last stack of these are silks and brocades. I want to work on some corsetry next year. And I also just like, in general, I just want to wear more like 3-piece things. I feel like when I put a blouse and a top on, I just maybe have a hard time not having a third piece to like kind of work as a bodice, because I've gotten to be a weird dress person, like here where I'm wearing a dress with a top. As a result, I think I'm going to try to make just more things that I can wear like that. So I bought this beautiful fabric for a corset, I think. I think I would like to make a corset, one of the ones that like has just a certain bust structure in the bodice area that I really like. This might be for that same thing, but this is this beautiful, oh, I don't think you can see it in this light. Hopefully you can. It's this very, very beautiful, it's a rayon and silk brocade that is like tone on tone navy flowers on this navy background, and it is so rich and so beautiful. This is going to be a little over thing waistcoat thing for that 3-piece look I'm talking about. This one, I like both sides of this fabric. The other side is a little bit more vibrant. I'm hoping you can see that here. It's just this beautiful brocade, and this one I want to make that little waistcoat of, and I want it to be reversible, so I actually think I'm going to use a quilting technique with it, which should be really interesting. And then the last fabric, I'm so excited about this. This is some of the most beautiful silk I've ever got, and it was expensive per yard, but not as expensive as I thought it'd be. It's this beautiful lilac silk satiny, like embossed lace leaf fabric. If that's not enough adjectives for you, I don't know what to tell you. I plan on again making a blouse with really, really big sleeves. My biggest dilemma with this fabric, which I would love for you to comment below and let me know, would you hand wash this? So because I'm making this into a blouse, I do want to be able to wash it, which means I should wash it before I do it. So should I just throw it in the tub, move it around, and then dry it out? Or would you just like not wash this at all and pray to the gods that you never get the blouse dirty? Let me know, because I'm in dilemma, because this is some of the most beautiful fabric I've ever seen, and so I'm trying to figure out what the heck to do. That wraps us up today. I hope you really enjoyed this video. This will be the last fabric haul of the year. This gave you, hopefully a little sneak peek into some projects you'll see upcoming on this channel. As always, subscribe and stick around. I would love to have you, and I will see you next time. Bye!